So is it fine? I'm visible? Yeah, okay. So there are basic 4 golden rules about the body, which are having for the first one is hunger, and the second one is thirst, and the third one is the sleep, and the fourth one is the proper resting time. Okay, so these are the ways the body connect with ourselves. So if we are how many of you are eating your food only when you're feeling the hunger? We are not. So nowadays, even the doctors say to that, you have to eat in a time. You have to eat your breakfast at this time. You have to eat your lunch at this time, and you have to eat your dinner at this time. So even the doctor says that, but at what time? Do we mean the physical time, the physical clock's time? What is the actual time? It's a stomach's time. Is that a generalized time? I can have my food at a different time. My lifestyle is different. My way of living is different. What I do is different. You do is different. Then how can we generalize the time? One should have their breakfast at 8 o'clock. One should have their lunch at 1 o'clock, and one should have their dinner at 7 o'clock. How can we make this kind of things? So each of our bodies are created in a unique way, like it works on its own way. Your lifestyle is different. If someone is working as a software engineer and another person is working in a farm, their lifestyles are both entirely different, right? So a person who is sitting in front of a computer or anything else, he doesn't need that much food. He doesn't need that what he also doesn't need that much nutrition also. But we generalize things, and we usually tell people that we need to eat this amount of food, this much calorie you should have, calories you should have, this much fruits you should have, this much vegetables you should have. This is not the right way to treat the body. If your child is asking you somebody, you need to listen the child, not any other person, right? So if a person is talking to you, you need to answer them, not any other person around you. So your body is constantly talking to you through the hunger cues, through the cues. These are like when Jiran uncle was speaking. I attended his session last year. So where do we lost this connection? We all lost this connection because of this educational systems. Because this educational system got us get us apart from the nature. So we are not connected with the nature. If we look deeper into the nature, so we can have 2 examples. One is the plants we have in our residential areas and the plants that grow in the forest. What are the strongest? Which are the strongest? Obviously, the forest ones, right? Why are they stronger? We give nutrients, we give water, we give everything the plant needs, right? Then why is the forest one is stronger and the one which is in the residential areas are more weaker? Even the suits with the animals, even the dogs which we bring up are very weaker comparing to the forest ones. Why is that happening? Because we are we are making things in a mind, and that may not be true. That may not be their actual need. If you water a plant regularly in 2 hours interval, what would the plant what can happen to the plant? What can happen to the plant? It will get rotten, right? So what are we doing to our own bodies? We are constantly pouring water into our bodies for making our skin glow, for giving a better metabolism. We're doing all these shit kind of things. But what you have to do is you just have to listen to your body. Have food only when you feel hunger. When you feel the hunger, So you can ask me a question: what if I'm not having the food when I'm not hungry? So nowadays we all speak about the vitamin deficiencies and the protein deficiencies and everything, right? But do we know that the deficiency is not about the food, it is about the system. The deficiency is because of the system that's not able to absorb the nutrients from the food, because it's already overflowing with the accumulation. When there is so much accumulation inside your body can actually not absorb the essential nutrients from the food. So people nowadays ask me that, don't we really need vitamins, minerals, and any other things to live this life, to have this healthy body, to have a healthy body? So in three bases, this body works. Okay. So the first basis is when the natural foods that have the actual content, like in traditional system also we say that the moringa leaves have some iron content, and the goat liver has some iron content, and the dates have some iron content. This is first thing. So when we have the food, when we feel the hunger, when we take the food like dates or moringa leaves or any kind of things that we are taught to be like, it has the thing, we can take them. And the next one is, the food will not have any kind of may not have any kind of nutrition that you expect from. But what the body actually does is, it converts it into the energy that it needs. We give supplements to the body, but the actual question is, the supplement has the iron outside, but when we take it inside, does it really converts into a vitamin or a mineral? Because a lot of chemical processes going inside our bodies. It need not to be the same. When Janan uncle taught about the coloring systems, so the basic educational system have some systems like this color and this color. You can match to this colors and to get this color. But nature is not like that. We can have any color and bring any color. So like that, our digestive systems are a lot of chemical combinations. So in 1959, I guess, Louis Kervaran, a scientist who made a research on this. Um, so in France, from the village of France, he examined the hens. He concluded that the feathers and the waste from the birds had a lot of calcium. Then he examined the food of the hens. So the regular food of the hens was the oats. Oats had no calcium. Then how did the hens process the calcium, and how did it actually get that calcium? Where did it get from? Also, when we say that we all need milk for calcium, the cow which is giving the milk actually eats grass, right? So in Tamil Nadu and all, in Tamil area, usually people feed the cows with haze, like dry grass. Even that has a little amount of calcium. But in some colder areas, they feed the cows with wet grass, the actual grass. It has magnesium, not the calcium. How the cow's digestive system converts a magnesium into calcium? End of the day, in the evolution, mankind is the highest peak of evolution. When a cow can do this kind of mechanism, why can't a human can't do? So the actual thing is that we have milk for calcium, but our digestive glands are not designed to digest the animal milk. It actually needs to spend a lot of energy and spend a lot of calcium to digest that milk. Actually, a human needs human milk. Uh, uh, um, uh, um, Even that for a period of time. After that, it doesn't need. So, do we really need this proteins, calcium, and minerals? The problems we are facing today is because of we are over treating with calcium, proteins, and minerals. Because we don't have any kind of needs. We don't have proper physical activities. We don't have we are not practicing a lifestyle that was practiced in our ancient times. So we need not have all the food items. So we just have to have food only when we feel hunger. When you feel hunger and have any kind of food, it converts that energy into what the body actually needs. You need not feed it directly. You can give by the food, like what we have as food we can give. But when we give supplements, the body actually considers it as a foreign body and eliminates it from the body. It's actually extra work for the body. It never considers the direct nutrients as a thing that's needed for the body. The body actually has to create the thing. I can give you an example. There is hydrochloric acid. There is a difference between the hydrochloric acid that's inside our stomach and the hydrochloric acid that's in the lab, right? That is acidic nature and this is basic nature. So the energies, the minerals, the vitamins has to be produced from inside the body and not from the outside of the body. It always should be produced inside of the body, from the body. The body never accepts accepts any kind of supplements or vitamins from outside the body. And the second thing is, we are now suggested to drink gallons of water. Is that really needed? How many of you have faced vomiting sensation and serious kidney problems due to that, due to drinking a lot of water? It can cause really, it can really cause you a cause you very big problems, because water, you have to give water only when it is needed. When we water a plant without the need, it gets rotten. Same happens to the inner system. If you keep on pouring water into the system, this gets stuck, and this will not be able to function properly. So have food only when you feel hunger, and drink water only when you feel thirst. And the third thing is sleep. So nowadays we have uh, completely uh, disastrous sleep patterns, because uh, there is something called um, circadian rhythm, right? So our bodies, everything in this world is like, it's in two dimension. Like if you have a day, it needs night to um, what refresh itself, refresh itself. But do we give the time to refresh our bodies? Do we give the time to maintain our body? We are always intaking things, but are we giving the time to detoxify the body? The detoxification is actually happening every day. The liver's detoxifying time is 11 to 3, night 11 to 3. But at that time, we shouldn't have any food in our body, because our bodies, when our body is doing something like digestive, when digestive system is working, the maintenance system will not be working. When we have food in our body at that time, like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, even nowadays 3 o'clock also, people are having biryanis that time. So the total system is collapsed. It is not separating the toxins properly. You are not letting to do the body's things properly. So what we have to do is, our ancient practices only two meals a day. That is well enough. That day itself, they had a lot of physical work, and that day itself, even in that period itself, they were more sufficient with the two meals. But what are we doing now? We are just stuffing our stomach with food just because we have food and we have money. So we have to stop the food at least before 6 o'clock. So because we are all having a lot of junk foods and it's very hard to digest, right? So we shouldn't have any kind of foods inside your body when it's 11 o'clock. You should also be in a deep sleep. You should not go to sleep by 11 o'clock. You should be in a deep sleep when it reaches 11 o'clock, because the liver starts to function only when you sleep. Because when you're moving or when you're doing something, the energy of the body can't concentrate on the detoxifying process. We are separating the energies. The segregation will not happen properly. So sleep at that time will make the liver to work efficiently, and that separates the accumulations from the body in a regular basis. But when it happens one day if you're waking till the 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock, it doesn't matter. But when it happens as a routine, your body will not be able to manage that kind of toxins. At that time, you will be alerted with a fever or a cold or something like that, a stomach ache or a headache. So this is called an indication. This is not disease. This is an illness that indicates you that you are doing a wrong thing to your body. You are not listening to your body properly. So at that time, you have to, at that time, uh, even at that time also, you have to concentrate on your body. But we are not doing that. We consider that as disease. We consider fever as disease. We consider cold as disease. We consider headache as disease, and we take tablets. What the tablets does is it suppresses the problem. The problem the problem will actually be inside, but it suppresses, and you will not be able to feel the problem. What anesthetics do, that happens to the body when you take any kind of medicines to the medicines. So when you take medicines, when you feel fever, the bodies will not be able to eliminate the toxins from your body, and it starts accumulating, and it becomes a more toxic substance. So that is a problem. When you're not treating it in the right way, it becomes a serious illness that actually causes the cancer, that actually causes the chronic illness. So what should we do when we are feeling the fever, cold, or anything? You should do nothing. You should fast yourself. You should stop. In Tamil Nadu, we have a poet called Thiruvalluvar. You would have heard about him. So there is a Tirukural saying like that. உற்றசுரத்திற்கும் உறுதியாம் வாய்வுக்கும் அற்றை வரும் மட்டும் மன்னத்தை காட்டுது. He says that when you're feeling some illness in your body, he says that don't eat food, don't show food in your eyes. So the modern educational system teaches us that the digestive process starts from the mouth, right? But a traditional practicer says that the digestion process starts from the eyes, starts from the ears, and starts from the nose. Yeah. So when we it starts from all the sensory organs. Like if we think about the pickle, we start drooling. If we think about sweets, our salivary glands works different, right? So the digestion starts here. So you should not show the food itself. You should stop showing that. So that needs a space. When you stop giving the food, the body will start to maintain the body, and the body will do its own work. You need not do anything. You just have to close your mouth. That is enough. And also the water. We think that in fever, when we have fever, we think that when we drink a lot of water, it will reduce the heat and give us a cure. But it is not. Because in Tamil, there is a word for fever, we call it kaichal. What we do kaichal is some we usually do traditional practices like jaggery, mixing jaggery with the water and heat it right to remove the impurities. That is called kaichal in Tamil. So usually the kaichal is when the body is not able to remove the impurities in the normal body temperature, it gives the heat to the body. The heat is needed to eliminate the stagnant impurities from your body. When you're cooling the temperature, the body will not be able to remove the stagnant impurities. Same happens with the cold and the cough. The cough is the only way to remove the dried mucus. There is no other way. Cough is the only way to bring up the dried mucus from your body. So we shouldn't stop that. We should like we should accept that, because you would have known the Einstein's law, Newton's law, right? Every action has the same reaction. So what you do to your body is repeating it. So you have to wait. And there is a saying in Sanskrit, Lankana, Lankana is is the best medicine for all the diseases we have. So by just fasting, you can remove all the impurities from the body. You should actually, if you are following a perfect lifestyle, like having food only when you feel hungry, having water when you feel thirst, where you're having a proper sleep routine, and when you're having a proper rest routine, it is not recommended to fast. You need not fast. But if you're even at this stage, we have a lot of chemical substances. When you have food without hunger, that is separated as a waste. But there are two kinds of waste. One is safe waste, and the other one is toxic waste. The what we are now accumulating is toxic waste because of the food we get now. All are chemically treated. So we are directly giving toxins inside. So the body actually needs more time and more space. So these are the four golden rules of the body. And by just listening to these cues, you can cure most of the problems from your body. So this is it. And you can ask any other questions, or if you have.
Hi, my name is Ramshi. So, thank you very much, first of all, for this talk. My question is that you said that when we are ill, the sign of illness comes. So we should wait and we should not have medicine. Um, I agree, but the question is that at times what happens is that what are the alarming signs? What are the checks that which you should be actually careful about? So for example, in case of kids, like they are like 2 year old or 3 year old, at times you are waiting, right? You're not medicating them or something like that, but then fever keeps on increasing. It could go 103, 104, right? So in those cases, what should be the take? Should we wait or should we go to see the medical practitioners?
Okay, so that's a nice question. So first thing is, the fever comes because for children, the fever mostly comes because of the growth spurt. When they attain a certain age, they get the fever because of the growth spurt. That is different. And the other ones, when they reaches 200, the temperature 200 or more than that, that is because of the impurities. That shows the level of impurities that is inside the child's stomach. That's inside this child's gut. So what you can do is you can approach a alternate medical practitioner like acupuncture or Ayurveda, or any kind of that kind of medical practices, because all kind of traditional medical practices understands the body in its natural way, not like allopathy. Allopathy understands the body in the opposite way. It sees the body as a machine, not as a human body. So we should never go for allopathy because it actually suppresses and it makes a lot of problems. So you can better go to a traditional medical practitioner and seek help. But if that also, if you are fearing about that, if you are afraid about that, moreover, the body actually will heal. You need not do that, but some alarms are there, like in children, if they are not having a proper bowel movements in the morning, if they are not active for the in the day, and these are the major signs we should look upon to the kids, because they are not that much into the polluted world, this kind of ideology. So what we should look up is these two things. If you are seeing something wrong about these things, you should regulate them. Like, you should not regulate them, you should regulate yourself. Like, don't force feed them, don't give them food when they don't need. So we have to regulate ourselves, and that reflects in our children.
Yeah,
Can I say something? Hello.
Hey, Saman, yeah, we can hear you.
Hi. Yeah, so I just want to share something about what you're sharing. And it's really validating whatever you're saying, because I never really studied these ideas. I've only been experiencing them with my children. So I remember when I had my first daughter, when she was about 4 or 5 months old, she got, I think, 103 or 104 fever, and everybody panicked at home, and she was breastfeeding all right, and we were holding her, but it was, it was the first time that she had fallen ill, and that's when you're most vulnerable, and people are telling you, what kind of a mother are you, why aren't you taking them to a doctor, why aren't you giving them a medicine? And we kind of succumbed to the pressure, and we forced liquid paracetamol. Like, we gave her that, which she was spitting out. And it was such a bad experience for us. I remember my husband, he cried the whole night, and he said, I know what this does, and I don't want to do this again. So, it was such a hard decision for us, in terms of, because nobody can see a small child in that kind of a state. But that was the first and the only time that we gave an allopathic medicine to our children. And after that, like you just mentioned, we have observed that fever is like a blessing. There is a lot of the times we have no control over what they are eating in terms of dirt and toxins and pollution, and people will give them something or the other processed, and you can't keep telling everybody, don't do this. They share a relationship with everybody in the family, in the society, so you can't really control that. But every time they eat something bad, we know it's going to be followed by some kind of detox. It could be, they might get loose motions, or followed by a fever. And immediately after a fever, there will be a growth spurt. They will either start talking or walking, some kind of milestone they will get immediately after. So that was very reassuring, and it's nice to know what you're saying. It's so important to share this knowledge. Similarly, how you get these febrile seizures, and when children when the fever gets really high, and the children get a seizure, and it's very scary to look at. But when you read about it, you know that it doesn't really harm. It is there to stop, the temperature from rising even further. But I have seen so many people in and around me who, when something like this happens, they just rush to the hospital. And what happens in the hospital, we know. They will put you on a drip, then the child is there without their parents for the next 5 days, and the kind of things that they do. So, it's a cascade of events. It's so important to just, sorry for taking all this time, but I felt I needed to share this, that you're very vulnerable, but just hold on to this knowledge. It is so powerful, and our body, it has been made absolutely perfect. It will always take 3 to 5 days for the detox to happen, and then it gets all right. So I just felt like sharing it.
Exactly. So mostly all of the children know what to do when they are feeling sick. We think that our children are not may not be able to take this kind of things, but children are more confident and like they know what has to be done. So we need not worry about children. We have to worry about ourselves. We are polluted. We need to worry about ourselves, not about them. They are very pure. And someone asked that I understand the body prefer absorbing natural forms of nutrients, but if body is rejecting supplements, still if we have supplements, we can see the improvement in blood tests. So yeah, so the blood test and the urine test and the sugar test, what kind of test are they? It is a average reading. They are keeping a group of people in a place and taking measurements about them, but every other human is different. I have seen a patient. Once a patient came to me. He was diagnosed with diabetes, and he told me that, Madam, I have diabetes. So I asked him, how do you know that you have diabetes? What is the problem you're facing with your body? He says that I don't have any problem with my body. My problem is the reading. I am feeling well, but my problem is reading. The problem can be different. How can average reading fit every other person in the world? It is not. It can show a difference in the reading, but your body is important than that. You should believe your body. That will show you a sign if you're not well or not well. And most of the times, they fix that hemoglobin level should be this, like this. My hemoglobin level was like 8 when I gave birth to my child. She was born at home, and I had like no pain, nothing traumatic like what the usual things happen during the delivery, right? I experienced any kind of that things. One of the blissful experiences I had in my life is my labor. I had a very low hemoglobin. It's the body's mechanism that makes something high and something low. That totally depends on the body. It decides what should be done. That has the authority. So don't worry. Yeah, next question.
So can you
I have a question.
say something about, I mean, say, since all our parents here, mostly we are worried about the kids, because the first two things also, you see, it's all about the kids, because when they fall ill or something, right, nothing runs in our brain. So can you talk about some natural immunity kind of information for kids generally from 2 years plus?
Okay. I will tell you one thing. Immunity has nothing to do with the food. It's about the lifestyle. You can never boost immunity with. They say that this Karupu Kauni rice boosts the immunity. This bamboo rice boosts the immunity. Nothing like that. If you're having even the Karupu Kauni without hunger, it is going to be waste. Okay. So you have to follow the body's inner clues. In Tamil, there is a saying called Alavukku Meerinal Amritamum Nanju. You would have known what is Amritam, right? If anyone knows how should it be said, please help me. Maybe you can say it in Hindi or any other language. So Amritam is considered as a highest form of energy giving food for eternity, food for eternal life. Even that, if you have it more than your body needs, it becomes a toxin. A snake bites, okay. The venomous thing in the snake's saliva is a formation of protein. So we do intake protein. And why does the snake's saliva becomes poisonous inside us? Because that is beyond our digestive system. We are not that our bodies are not created in that way to digest the high level of proteins. Nowadays, we are experiencing a lot of sudden deaths. That is because of the protein powders. That is mainly because of the protein powders. Because too much of protein gives your body unnecessary work that shouldn't be done. You're you're draining your energy for digesting them. So we should not give them. So that is the main thing. So immunity comes with the lifestyle. You should never force feed your child. Children should have their food. They are very clear about that. Even when the child is feeling so much hunger, he cannot keep himself without having food. He will have. He should have. That is the body's mechanism, right? If he skips one time, that's fine. That's completely fine. You just leave him. The next time he'll surely come. So don't never force feed a child. Never overstuff a child. And never ask them to drink this, drink that. That is not needed. Have fruits inside your home. Have some natural things inside your home. Have some locally produced things that's visible to their eyes. They will choose. They know what to eat. So they are at least connected to the nature better than us. So we need to learn from them, and we need not do anything to better their immunity. We should actually sit back and listen to themselves, and let them listen to themselves. That is the only thing. And sleep pattern is very much important in developing the immunity. The children should sleep from 11 to 3. They should be in the deep sleep. Don't encourage children being awake at night times. That is very bad for their health. So children should sleep before 10 o'clock. If you have
Yeah, I have a question. Vinay here. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
So you're saying that our body is not meant to consume the milk of the cow. I grown up in a village, and my grandfather had so many native breed cows, and our home used to be filled with, in Kannada we call matke, like a pot. We used to have a thick curd. I remember those days. It was so delicious to eat. And my grandfather, great grandfather, they all, through their entire life, they took the milk of our native cows. They all lived very, very healthy. I haven't seen them going to, I don't remember whether they're going to hospital, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, I need to say that too. So at that times, the cows were treated like a family member. They didn't injected the cows with oxytocin. They didn't do anything harmful to the cows. They fed the cows like their own family member. And even in that days, in Ayurveda and all, milk is considered as a special food and not as a regular food. But the possibility they were healthy because they had a lot of physical work. So it actually digested, however, but it is not meant for the human body. But in some cases, they had a lot of physical work, and that subtracts the minuses from the milk. The milk didn't had any extra toxins at that time. But this time, milk is not milk itself. It's completely full of detergents, milk powders. Milk is not milk. Even if you're growing a cow at your home, government is always having its eyes on you to inject the cows. So it's very rare to get the proper milk. We can have the proper milk, our native breed cows milk, as a special food, not as a regular food. Our bodies are not created for that. At least.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, a lot of questions in the chat box.
Yeah,
Shall
we'll take last two questions, Jeyavalli. I think Namrata and Gargi, a couple of questions in the chat box, and I think then we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, buttermilk is okay. Buttermilk and ghee is very much okay because ghee is processed in a way that milk solids are cultured to get the ghee actually helps with digestion. The proper ghee, the proper Pilona ghee or the curd churned ghee, that process is very nice, and we can consume ghee. Buttermilk is also good because that removes every other fat content, and it brings it out as a different chemical combination that suits our body, but not the butter, curd, and milk. And okay, so yes, is craving for particular food also tells us something is wrong with our body? Yes, exactly. At pregnancy times, usually what we do is we get this cravings, right? So that are cues that you should have that kind of, because taste is a kind of energy. Energy is not just about the food. Taste is a kind of energy that balances something in our body. So when your body asks for a taste, medically it has something to do, because if your body needs a lot of sweet, then your gut is not functioning properly, because the taste of sweet is directly related to the stomach, and the taste of the spicy food is directly related to the heart and everything that goes medically. But yeah, we should actually listen to our bodies, and what the pregnant ladies do by mistake is they overconsume the taste. That backfires. So we should listen to our body, and if your body needs a sour taste, you should just taste a piece. You should just take a piece and chew it by yourself. Just listen to your body. Don't have any mobile phones or watching TV when having your food. Okay, especially when you're having your when you're satisfying your cravings, you should listen to the food, and you should listen to your body and how it works. So at a point the craving stops, but the mind is not synchronized with the thing, and we overconsume the taste, and that backfires, and that actually makes an impact in our body. So always listen to your body's cues. If your body is asking for a taste, please give the taste. And also the portion, like your body tells where to stop. Please stop at that time. Don't overconsume. Okay. So that's also a big problem.
Jeyavalli, there are two more questions in the chat. One is, I think, from Rashi. I think we missed it. And
Okay.
one is from Namrata. Can you see in your chat?
Okay. Um, um, which question can you please read that for me?
One is Rashi Sharma asking if your blood tests show high triglycerides, but you feel good, will it have future repercussions in terms of heart damage?
Okay. So what if your blood test shows you high triglycerides, but you feel altogether fine, but it can have future repercussions in terms of heart? Okay. So what we miss nowadays is we lost total connection with our bodies, that we are not sure with our bodies. Like your healthy body, we should know how a healthy body will be like. So that is very important. We 90% of us are not healthy this time, but we believe that we are healthy. So there are some clues that we can identify that we are healthy. First thing is, already I have said that we should have proper bowel movements without any external things like laxative supplements or water. We should not need anything, and we should have proper bowel movements. And the next thing is we should be feeling the energy throughout the day. Like if we wake up in the morning at 5 o'clock and sleeping at the night 9 o'clock, we'll be able to uh, feel the total energy in our body. If you're dropping your energies, or when you wake up you're feeling so dull, or if you're not able to open your eyes, something is bad with your lifestyle, and something is bad with your whole system and your body. There is nothing like emergency situation, or nothing like a disease will come all of a sudden. Your body will always give you indications, you just have to feel that. So the indications will differ according to the body. some will have the chest burns, some will have the stomach ache. None of the ache should be felt in your body when you're healthy. A healthy body can't feel any kind of pain in the body. If you're feeling any kind of pain, there is a problem. So that's a point. And these are the three. If you're not feeling hunger, that is also a problem. If you're not feeling thirsty, that's also a problem. If you're not getting sleep, that's also a problem. These are the major things we need to look for. Other than that, if you're feeling healthy with all these, you're fine. Even the report says that you're not fine, you're fine only.
And
Okay.
one last question is, I think, Namrata. Uh, uh, she says my daughter is into sports and her coach is asking her to take protein-rich food. What to do about it? Yeah.
Okay. So our ancient people never seen food as proteins, vitamins, and minerals. They seen food as food. So you can have any food that has a lot of life into it. Like nowadays we have foods that's probably and almost that's chemically treated. That foods are have really less nutritious value and that actually damages the system. So for a sports person, you really need to look for options like organic food. Organic food is actually natural food. Natural food you need to give to the body because the need is more. So the organic food is well enough. You can have anything the child wants. The natural food. That is enough. You need not give them anything special. Can consume anything that converts into the body's need according to the need of the body. So need not worry and need not give any kind of special foods. You can add sprouts and millets because it has high kind of energy in it, because sprouts have higher kind of energy, not because it has a lot of proteins. It has higher amount of prana, it has higher amount of energy in it. So if the body is able to absorb the energy, it can absorb from the sprouts. So you can give them sprouts but in a limit. So always we have to be clear with that. So what kind of impact the food processors goes? Yeah, that plays a major role, because when I say about the taste, we are all addicted to the taste that is not the actual taste. Because when we have a lace, or when we have a bottle of slice, or when we have any artificially flavored food, it cannot balance the inner system. Sweetness is the sweetness from the mango, the sweetness from the chiku, the sweetness from the any other fruit. That is called natural sweetness, and that will only be able to balance the system. And nowadays we cook in pressure cookers, and we usually overcook the food. But cooking is not a bad thing. When it is done in a proper way, it's very much better for the body, because in ancient times they need a lot of energy, but at this time we actually need to subtract energies from the food, because we don't need that kind of that much of energy. So cooking is good, but the way how we cook actually impacts a lot about the body.
Jeyavalli, Natanya have a special request. I think she is in some. She wants to ask a question. Natanya.
Yeah, thank you. So actually, last 2 weeks, right, my daughter, she keeps falling sick, as in 3 times she had this attack. Her ear pains and her stomach pains, and then she vomits. We do warm compress, and then next day she's okay. But in the last 2 weeks, this has happened 3 times. When we went to the doctors suggested, they said that she has ear infection, and they suggested antibiotics. But I did not give the antibiotics. Okay, I am in the US over here, and literally all the kids who go there, they are giving an antibiotics for ear infection. So I'm not sure what to do. Like, I'm looking at everyone and I'm thinking maybe I should also give 1 dose of antibiotics to her. But I'm again not sure, because in the last 2 weeks now, 3 times she has fallen sick. So what are your suggestions? Like,
So antibiotic is a what is antibiotic? In word itself, anti is something opposite to the biotic. What is biotic? The life. Something that's opposite to the life is called antibiotic. The name itself has that. So don't do that. And the
Okay.
antibiotics know that if you are killing the good germs or bad germs, it kills the whole germs. The good germs are
Correct.
very important for the body to sustain. So never do the mistake of having an antibiotic. One thing you can do is, if the problem is in yours, that is a way of telling our body that something inside not good. So you can have body itself heals by itself, but you can have a acupuncturist or what the basic problem of suggesting a traditional medical practitioner other than the acupuncture is that they don't have their own syllabus. They nowadays study the allopathic anatomy and do their treatments. So that is the
Okay.
problem. Know someone who is traditionally practicing the Ayurveda or Siddha, you can go for them. Otherwise, go for a acupuncturist. I can give numbers. If you are in US, I can give you some suggestive numbers in a private message. So if you
Sure.
need,
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, if you can suggest some numbers in the US, I'll do that, because it is very scary. Like, I feel I'm doing something wrong, and I know it's literally 7 to 8 neighbors who have all done antibiotic treatment. Anytime they go, they'll say ear infection and they'll give antibiotics. So
Yeah.
yeah,
that take antibiotics into the body, that makes your body very much vulnerable, and any disease can affect your body so easy. The immune
correct,
system is totally damaged because of that
correct, correct. Yeah, which is why we have not given till today. Yeah, right. No, they scare us. They say that, oh, it will lead to hearing loss and all. So
Yeah.
that's what.
Even when you go for a dentist, after the basic procedures like scaling, even after scaling, they give antibiotics. They will say like you will lose a tooth if you're not taking antibiotics. Nothing happen like that.
Okay. Yeah. So if you can share those numbers in the US, that would be great. Thank you so much. Yeah. It was very reassuring. I just needed to hear that from you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jeyavalli, for this wonderful session. And we
May
hope to
I
have.
ask how we can contact Jeyavalli for personal consultation?
She's part of
Sorry
the
to disturb.
health. She's part of the health group. If you're not part of the health group, you can join the health group. And there, maybe Jeyavalli, if you are okay, you can also share your contact. If you are okay with getting your contacts directly.
Yeah, I'm sharing my number here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Say thank you again, Jeyavalli, for this wonderful session, and we look forward to the next session now. Thank you, and we
Sure,
hope
thank
we
you
can
so
take one more session on something more deeply understanding the voice of health.
session on vaccination actually.
Great. So
Because
that's good. Yes, please have one session on that. Yeah.
sure, I would like to do, because that is very needed at least at this time of period.
Yes. Right. All right. Thank you. We'll say bye here. Yeah. Thank you.